Hey, Fred Minnick here. Today I'm going to review a new product out called Kentucky Senator. Going to tell you a little bit about this brand before I get into tasting, but also I want to tell you about the category in which this product is in. It's called non-distiller producers. This is essentially when people create a brand and they bottle whiskey that they have acquired on the wholesale market or the source whiskey market. And there is a lot of 15-year-old product coming out on this in this world. From Chicken Cock to Sam Houston to the Kentucky Senator, we're seeing a lot of 15-year-old Kentucky bourbon. Once thought to be unfathomable to get in the wholesale market, now just kind of coming up in totes. Actual totes. So they are, imagine like you go into Lowe's and you see the big square plastic things that you would store something in, especially liquid, or you go to like an industrial facility and you see like these big tall squares of plastic. Those are to store liquid, specifically food grade liquid. Well, this company purchased a 270-gallon tote of 15-year-old bourbon. There's a lot of this coming back onto the market. And historically, when we start seeing stuff like this come onto the wholesale market, that's an indication that they can make more money by selling it for $6,000, $8,000 per barrel than they could if they were to bottle it up and sell it to themselves. Now, what that means is that these types of products are going to be more expensive than if the original distiller would have bottled it themselves. So in this case, this is former Beam liquid, and the mash bill is 78.5% corn, 13% rye, and 8.5% barley. There is 1,320 bottles of this. This is coming in at 107 proof, and it is $200 or an SRP of $199. This product also is only in Kentucky. I don't think I got myself a full pour there. So this is my second or third time to taste this. I have also got this in my artist rotation for tasting with artists. I'll be tasting this with a really prominent former football player coming up here pretty soon. So a little bit more about this brand. Kentucky Senator Damon Thayer is behind it. So he's the founder of this along with Andre Regard. And their whole premise is that they are talking about senators in Kentucky history. The first one is on Alben Barkley. Alben Barkley was like a former vice president. He was the vice president under Harry S. Truman from 49 to 53. He was a Democrat that served both as the Senate minority and Senate majority leader. So a really interesting place to put in some stories. But from the bourbon itself, I'd have to say that this is probably going to be the last time they get 15-year-old bourbon. I just don't think this stuff is going to come up a whole lot. But I do think that the concept is cool. I love history, as you know, as long as the history and the backstory are not leading the whole journey of the bourbon. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this. The whiskey that originated from a 270-gallon tote. Here we go. Yeah, that color's just gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. So the nose is really, really apricot-y. A lot of like apricot, peaches. There's some coconut in there. There's like a touch of cocoa, like hot cocoa. roasted marshmallow. It's got a very active nose. Very active nose. On the palate, this is really reminiscent of some, 15, 18-year-old whiskeys I had in the early 2000s. It has like this kind of coconut, and then like chocolatey with a like, I want to say like a hatch chili. Like there's a hatch chili note in here. And there's some like black pepper kind of, saltiness in there as well. Like a salted chocolate, like one of those nice like pieces of chocolate with like a little, piece of sea salt on there. And then I'm talking about some bread pudding. And all the while, it's got a really nice caramel note to it. I mean, this is really delicious whiskey from a tasting perspective. And the nose is like off the charts incredible. But after I kind of feel like all of this like back and forth on the palate, I'm finding that the finish does not live up to what the taste was. So this taste and the nose are really exceptional, really off the charts. But I'm going to say that the finish, which is the process of like you've swallowed it, it's on the way down, and it's the flavor that's still there. The finish is fairly flat in comparison to the depth and the beauty of the palate. So if you're someone that doesn't put a lot of stock in a finish, like you care more about the taste and you care more about the nose, this thing, you're going to love this. But if you're like me and you do put a lot of stock into the finish, you're going to find yourself just a touch disappointed. But you also want to just taste it one more time, right? You want to taste it one more time just to make sure. And that nose is great. The palate's just, the palate is wonderful. Yeah, I'm going to stick with it. It's got a great nose, it's got a great palate, and it has kind of like a medium finish. Like it's on the palate for maybe 15 seconds, 20 seconds at most. It is a kind of like between a medium and a long finish, and you don't get that burst of flavor that you do in a lot of expressions that are at 107 proof. 107 proof to me is probably the perfect proof for bourbon. And a lot of times you get something that's on the palate and then it's so nice and then a burst comes through on the finish. And I just did not get that here. That said, you should try it for yourself. I do hope you're able to find a bottle. I know Liquor Barn, and I know Liquor Barn's going to have those here in Kentucky. But if you're someone, you want to just have it, add something to your collection, you want to check it out, I highly recommend that you do so. But if you're someone that focuses on the finish, like the finish is the most important thing for you, then I don't believe that this whiskey will be for you. But still, don't listen to me, taste for yourself. That's what this is all about. It's about teaching yourself how to taste and figuring out what you like and how you like, and learn how you like to taste. And I only want to be a guide to help you get there. So if you can find a bottle, sure, go ahead and buy it. But for me, this is not one that is delivering on all those three spots that I like: the nose, the palate, the finish. It's got 2 out of 3, and as they say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. But that's going to do it for this tasting. Do expect a Battle of the Totes coming to you soon. I will be having a taste-off with this one and a couple other of the tote whiskeys that are on the market. And the Battle of the Totes. I kind of like that. Sounds kind of Roman. Anyway, I appreciate you tuning in. If you'd like to catch more cool reviews and honest whiskey discussions, and maybe see a celebrity here and there, like tasting some whiskey, click that subscribe button because we're doing all kinds of cool stuff on this channel. I appreciate your time. Be safe out there. And remember, no licking handrails, no licking trash cans, and vodka sucks unless it's being used for hand sanitizer. Cheers.